Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today for the Data Analytics Bootcamp informational webinar. My name is Monique Singleton. I am the Associate Director of Enrollment Management here at Georgetown University. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. I am going to launch a poll for you all so that you can let us know why you're interested in the Data Analytics Bootcamp. So go ahead and answer why you're interested. Let us know a little bit more about you while we wait for a few more attendees to join us today. And we will get started in just a minute or so. All right, I'm seeing some answers come in. I see attendees joining. Go ahead and answer the poll. Why are you interested specifically in the Data Analytics Bootcamp program? And if you all can hear me clearly, go ahead to the chat bar and let me know that you can hear me clearly before we get started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. It looks like 100% voted. Let's see. We're going to share the poll really quickly. All right, it looks like we have 11%. I really like the career services component. 33% say I'm looking for a career change, and then 56% say I want to advance in my career. So it looks like we have a lot of people who may be in the data analytics field and are really, really looking to advance in their career. So fantastic. Thank you all so much for being a part of that poll so we have a better idea of who our audience is today. So welcome again. My name is Monique Singleton. I am the Associate Director of Enrollment Management. We are overjoyed to have you today for this webinar. I am joined with some fantastic subject matter experts, fantastic people who are so excited and extremely passionate about data analytics. And we are ready to give you additional information so that you can make the best decision for yourself in regards to this bootcamp and this program. I am joined with Lawrence Gray. He is the lead subject matter expert for the instructional, the instructor for data analytics and data science. I'm also joined with Stuart Brown, the lead subject matter expert and instructor for the Thinking to Thrive course for this program. And also Lindsay Thomas, who is the Director of Integrated Counseling, and she will be assisting with the career services component. So that percentage of you all who said that you were interested in that career service component, she will be here to answer any questions that you have throughout the time that we're here. And of course, if you have any questions throughout the time frame, definitely chat them in the chat bar. I will be here, ready, alive, answering your messages. And then, of course, at the end, if there's any subject matter expert questions, we will leave those to the subject matter experts. So without further ado, let me give you the agenda for the day. We are going to do an overview of the bootcamp and the Flex Learning experience. I will go over what you will learn within this bootcamp program, so the data analytics portion and also the Thinking to Thrive portion of the course. and then we will go over how we support your career development, becoming a professional learner at Georgetown University, and then, of course, answer any of your questions along the way. So the boot camp overview. Georgetown's boot camps are they're a bundle package of data analytics, visualization, critical and strategic thinking, collaboration, creative skills, and one-on-one career coaching throughout the program. So you're learning technical skills, you're going to master critical and strategic thinking, collaboration, and creative skills, and you're also going to advance your career development. And they're all taught by our fantastic faculty members, of course. The flex learning experience. So when we got forced into this COVID-19 debacle or craziness that we're going through right now, Georgetown came together and we said, how can we make this experience for our non-credit certificate program students a great one? Because there are a lot of students that really enjoy the face-to-face experience. They really want to be on campus, super excited about that. And we didn't want everything to be online, asynchronous, where you kind of don't really feel connected to those in your classroom as well as the instructor. So what we've created is the flex learning experience. So with this data analytics bootcamp, you will have a 12-week intensive experience culminating in a certificate from Georgetown University. The scheduling is very open. If you take a look at the curriculum and schedule portion of our website, it will show you the dates and times of the classes. So as long as you're available for those dates and times, it will be, and it's a good fit for your schedule, then you can go ahead and register. They're open enrollment. But the pacing of the course encourages students to keep up to date and provide discipline to their learning journey. It's also a face-to-face discussion, individual guidance, and immediacy of feedback on comments and questions. So you don't have to post one week and then wait for an answer the following week. Very, very interactive. You interact regularly and frequently with your instructor and other students as the class explores topics, ideas, and concepts. As I mentioned before, the Flex Learning experience is real time. It's using live Zoom video conferencing, and it's mirroring a traditional classroom with regular interaction, engaging activities, and dynamic exploration of topics and concepts. So we want you to feel as if you are on Georgetown University's campus, since we can't all be there together at the same time. But yes, this Flex Learning experience, we've had great feedback since the pandemic has begun, and we truly hope that once you register and you attend our courses that you feel the exact same way. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Lawrence Gray to discuss the data analytics learning objectives and some additional information about the modules and things you will be learning within the program.
Thank you, Monique. I want to start with this first point, which I think is probably one of the most important points as part of our data analytics program that sets us apart from a lot of other programs. And it's this applying the programming technologies involved in data analysis and visualization. We do teach extensively the programming language Python. We don't expect you to have ever programmed. We've taken a bold step in doing this, and we're taking students that never programmed a day in their life and bringing them up to speed so that they can be able to work as data analysis and have that as a core skill that's going to set you apart from other data analysis. We want to help you understand the strategic and operational value of data. That means that in the sense that as a data analysis, you're trying to reach business objectives and understanding the strategic and operational value of data and what it's useful for in the business sense is important. We're going to talk about that and discuss that extensively in this program. So just to know you're there to service the business, and we're going to give you the skills and help you understand how to use data in order to do that. And as far as leveraging data analysis to improve decision-making process, I could give you an example. For instance, there's a company that sells shoes, and they're looking to expand their product line, but they have no idea what to do. imagine as a data analyst, you could go through the data of the company and realize maybe there are customers at a certain age group that are buying shoes that have features that are more comfortable, they're more padded, they have certain features that are meant to be more comfortable. You could take that information and leverage the data analysis to maybe build out another product that says maybe we need to build a shoe that has more orthopedic support or geared toward a certain population, and you can use data analysis to come to those type of conclusions. So leveraging, understanding your data and doing analysis could help you make important improve your decision-making process. We will go along about identifying data sources, creating analytical data sets, and clearly communicating the analysis results. And this is a part of the whole process. Not only do you need to be able to identify the sources where you're retrieving your data and create an analytical sets, you need to be able to efficiently efficiently communicate the analysis results. And that will come through learning in statistics area, that will come through learning of your data visualization, which will be covered. And these are areas in which you learn how to clearly communicate what the data actually means. And this brings up the second point of performance statistical analysis. Not only when you come to a conclusion, you need a way to validate that conclusion, and statistical analysis is the path to getting there. And so one of the things that we need to always consider is the ethical consideration in data analysis. There's inherent bias sometimes in the data that we use, and we need to recognize that. And we will talk briefly about the ethical considerations in data analysis and decision-making process. So the way that this certificate is structured, there are 4 modules. There are 5 total modules, the 5th one being the capstone project, but the 4 actually where most of the work is done starts off with the foundations of data analytics and Python basics. That's the course that I teach. We talk about what data analytics is, but the course main objective is to prepare you for the rest of the modules and giving you the basic understandings of Python. Because as you move on to the next module, which is statistics, you're going to immediately start using Python in order to do statistical analysis, followed by the 3rd module, which is data analytics in Python and SQL, where you're going to have applied more application of your statistics and your Python basics into solving problems, and also using databases using databases as part of that application process. I'm very excited about this last and the 4th module that we're going to be covered, which is data visualization, in which you're able to take all the data that you have and present it in a format in which your business partner will be able to easily understand the data analysis that you've performed. And this is a 3-week process. It covers a lot of material, but I'm really excited about that section of this certificate program. It's taught, all these programs, all the different modules are taught by experts in their fields. We have Google engineers, we have people from Booz Allen, myself from KPMG, very well-known established companies, and we're lending our expertise to this program. And the final thing is the capstone, which lasts over 2 weeks. It is a summary project in which you take a business problem and you complete a summary notebook of a business problem, and it will employ all the skills that you learn throughout the certificate program. So this is really just a summary of the learning objectives from each one of the modules. So the first one that I teach is merely the introduction of foundations of data analytics in Python. So you're going to learn about the different types of analytics and which ones apply to this course. And most importantly, it's going to talk about getting you started with Python as a tool for data analysis. Statistics, this is extremely important, is this core skill for data analysts, and it's going to help you uncover patterns and explain analysis that you're performing. It's going to help you find cause and effect in your data, and those are some of the key skills that are going to be taught in statistics. Data analytics is going to be the fun part of this course, because now that you understand Python, you're going to be able to apply it to different problems, and you get exposed to different domains in which you're able to apply Python programming language. You'll also be exposed to databases and how to manipulate data in databases for analytical purposes. So data visualization, which I said before, is going to be an exciting 3 weeks for you, because you're going to learn how to effectively convey your analysis and insights to decision makers through visualizations. You're going to be able to use popular libraries such as Tableau, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. So what you hope to learn is that you'll be able to visualize, analyze, and interpret charts and graphs from data visualization module. And the final module, which I also teach myself, the students will develop a comprehensive summary and what's called a Jupyter notebook for a case study that incorporates the skills developed from across the modules. And the students will leave with a demonstration project that they can show to their employers to show that they possess the necessary skills in order to perform a data analyst job. This is the technology requirements. You need a laptop. You need a laptop that isn't a government laptop for the most part. I know a lot of our students are government employees, but the problem with that is that government laptops lack administrative access. So that's one of the considerations, to make sure that you have a laptop that has administrative access to it. The other core things, normally what people have are sufficient for this. Webcam is required, as this is a flex learning class, and that's pretty much it.
All right, without further ado, we will pass it over to Stuart Brown to talk about the Thinking to Thrive course.
So let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever seen anybody make a bad decision? If you live in the Washington, D.C. area, the answer is probably yes. And then, of course, the question is, have you ever made a decision that you later regretted? Of course you have. We all have. The longer you live, you get more of these. So this came up in conversation several months ago at Georgetown. And of course, we know that people make decisions every day. Our students make decisions. And we had noticed that there were a variety of different decision processes and I'll use the word lightly, being used, and in some cases, no process at all. It was emotional. So we got together and we said, we really need to have something in our academic offering that will provide more of a foundation for our students. And the intent was to help our students think about how they think so that they will make better decisions. And at the same time, they will understand better how the people across the table are making their decisions. Very invaluable stuff. Next slide, please. So we designed this to be a survey course. We cover 4,000 years of human thought and the decision process in 12 weeks. We meet for about an hour and a quarter every Saturday. It's, of course, all online right now, which is great because we used to be all in the classroom, but now we've expanded our footprint dramatically. There are people in the class from Columbia. There are people in the class from New York, from Washington, D.C. area, Los Angeles. So we have a much bigger group. It's a lot of fun. We use a variety of teaching processes. Of course, we use lecture. I try to lecture as little as possible. There's a lot of fair amount of reading. There's videos, podcasts. We use the seminar discussion methodology. In other words, you will take a look at the course material before the class, and then we have a discussion. We also do a computer simulation provided by our friends at Harvard. We do some role play, and of course we do case studies, because this is all about decision making. This is where you take all that data analytics that Larry was talking about and put it into your decision mill so that you can make the appropriate decisions. Next slide. So these are the learning objectives, and I'm going to do something you're not supposed to do. I'm actually going to read these because we hash these out pretty firmly. We want to make sure that we accomplish all of this. We want you to be able to discover and overcome mental blocks in your thinking and judgment. We want to apply analytical thinking to break down complex information into fundamental parts. Apply critical thinking to evaluate and interpret information and develop a sound judgment. Identify opportunities for innovation and growth by leveraging your thinking skills to gain improved insight. Recognize multiple ways to solve problems and embrace divergent thinking. This is probably one of the biggest ones. There's many ways to skin the cat. Recognize the importance of ethics to determine what is right and how values determine what is important in your decision-making process. Next slide. And once again, I want to hit kind of the big billboard. We want to help our students think about how they think so they can become better decision makers. When we put together the original content, it ran to 4 or 5 pages. We've honed it down to these because we think these are the most important, provide a best background, but there are others that we don't cover in class. But let me talk about what we do. We talk about the natural decision process. That's the one you're born with. That's the one we've had since we climbed out of the trees. And it's not always our friend. It's great for, sink or swim. It's great for fight or flight. But if you want to do a complex problem, the natural decision process may not serve you well. We talk about an objectified natural decision process called the decision grid, which is also one of our tools, which is a very handy process in the decision-making process and also can help working with teams, pulling together criteria and weighting. We talk about the scientific method, which of course is one of the oldest forms of rational thought. We talk about the military decision process, and a lot of people have asked me, well, why do we do that? This is a civilian class. Because the military in our country has spent more time working on their decision process and honing it than any single group. It's a very useful framework that you can use. You can lay it across almost any type of problem. So I want you to be well grounded in that. We talk about legal decisions from the point of view of the judge, the jury, the lawyer, and the client. Because if you're in business somewhere along the line, the chances are you'll end up in court. It's good to know how things really work. Critical thinking. Actually, we go into all the thinkings. We got critical thinking, design thinking, inductive thinking, deductive thinking, abductive thinking, innovative thinking, and strategic thinking. It's a lot of thinking. The critical thinking is something that everybody wants and has trouble defining. We try and define it and talk about the process to get there. Design thinking is a little bit easier. That's where we picture, if you will, the end product, and then we design a solution to fit. You've got the inductive and deductive. One is the obverse of the other. You start at the bottom and work up, or you start at the top and work down. Abductive thinking is something that most people do all the time, but don't really think about it. That's where you come up with a probability based on less than perfect information. Innovative thinking is something that almost all organizations want you to have. They want you to be innovators. And the question is, can you do that? Does it have to be born in you, or can you develop it? Strategic thinking, same thing. How can you become a strategic thinker? Ethics and decision making, fascinating class. We just did this last Saturday. Great support from the folks at Georgetown on a professional level. I also had backup. I have a psychologist who assists me, an ethicist, a couple of lawyers, all manner of. The conversation in the ethics class was fascinating. I don't really teach that, I facilitate it. Then we talk about the decision tools, the decision grid, which I mentioned before, something called the event waterfall, which is very useful in wargaming. We talk about the environmental scan, which is a process that you use to take in and understand your environment and the analytical frameworks that go with it. We talk briefly about risk analysis. That's an entire class in and of itself, but we want you to have at least a very basic understanding of how risk analysis works. And we'll teach you how to make a risk map. Cost benefit analysis is, again, we spent entire semesters on this in business school, but we want you to be able to have the basics so that you can sit at the table and make good decisions. And then we ended up with a testing decisions before execution. This is a wargaming, kind of our little capstone process, and then obviously tying it all together for the best possible decision. And that's what we cover. There are some other things that we will touch upon, but lightly, and I will leave things like Lean Six Sigma to others. But at any rate, this will give you a great foundation. Next slide, please. So the course, I promise, will make you think. It'll make you better decision makers. It'll help you understand why the others, those folks on the other side of the table, are making the decisions they are making. It'll help your organization. It'll give you an edge. I can promise you, it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you very much. May all your decisions be good ones.
Thank you so much for that information, Stuart. We really appreciate you going over Thinking to Thrive so that everyone has a full understanding of what it entails and if this will be a good fit for them. Critical thinking is so important nowadays. Oh my goodness, in every single thing that we do. So without it, you have just such a hard time making decisions, whether it is personal, professional, in your career, everything. So thank you for going over that information. Without further ado, we will pass it over to Lindsay to go over career services.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here with you today. As Monique mentioned, I'm the Director of Integrated Career Development for our boot camps. This spring will be our second semester with career services. So I'm really excited to continue working with Larry and Stuart and to help you get to where you want to be professionally. At the School of Continuing Studies, our students have a wide variety of professional goals. You can see that from the survey that we gave you at the beginning, anything from making a career change to individuals hoping to grow in their current role. And I think you'll find that career services cater to each of these populations. Data analytics is certainly an up and coming field. I read that there are 2.5 quintillion bytes of data generated each day, and we're seeing more and more organizations and departments within organizations looking to utilize their power of their data. So it's a really great field to go into right now. My job as Director of Career Development is to bridge what you're learning in the classroom with your professional goals. So to that end, the most important service that I offer in career development are one-on-one coaching appointments. So if you are someone hoping to make a career change, I'll be a resource for you throughout every step of that process. In our first meeting, we'll take an extensive look at your background to draw out your most relevant professional experiences and skills. We'll create a cohesive narrative around your prior experiences that you bring, the skills you're learning through the certificate, and where you hope to go professionally. From there, I've set up some online resources in Canvas to help you get to know the industry, and we'll develop both a proactive and reactive job search plan. We'll identify individuals in your network to reach out to, companies of interest to you, and common job databases. And together, we'll polish your resumes, cover letters, and marketing materials with tips and tricks to help you stand out. We'll conduct mock interviews and discuss how to handle salary negotiations and offers so that you're able to get the best package possible. As a candidate, a job search requires a lot of effort. So my job is to help you put your best foot forward and coach you through that process. If you're an individual that mentioned you're looking to advance in your career, but maybe stay at your current organization, again, we'll use these one-on-one appointments to talk through how you can present your new skills in the workplace and how to kind of speak with your supervisor and make the case for potential promotion. So I think the real value add is that individualized look at your professional strengths and how to communicate that value to others. As I know, we have students with a wide variety of professional backgrounds and interests in taking the program. In addition to one-on-one appointments, we also offer employer information sessions. So this is where employers will come to speak a little bit about their companies and the roles that they're hiring for. It's a great opportunity for you to introduce yourself to recruiters and to potentially set up some of those initial phone screens at companies you're interested in. The really great thing about Georgetown is that it's a really collaborative campus. So I have strong relationships with several career centers across the university. So in addition to the employer events that I put on, you'll also have access to events across campus that are relevant in the data analytics space. I host weekly professional development workshops. on a pretty wide variety of topics, from networking to creating your LinkedIn profile, salary research and negotiation. And I also take feedback from students. If there are any workshops that you'd like to see, you can submit a request and then I will gather some material for you. We have industry and alumni panels. Well, you'll hear from alumni at Georgetown as they share tips for career growth and industry trends. And that's a really good kind of mentorship opportunity. In addition, you also have access to a system called Handshake. It's a university-wide system that includes job postings and events. So that's where you'll see a lot of the data analytics positions posted. And you'll also have the opportunity to submit your resume for inclusion in employer resume books that we send out if you're an individual looking to change positions. So that's just a brief overview of career services. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end, and I hope to see you in the spring.
Wow, Lindsay, so much information. Tons and tons of information, so many resources. I know being in enrollment, we have so many questions about. So do you have any career services? Do you have any options? You know, once we graduate, we have this certificate. What can we do with it? Where can we go? And now that they have the option to delve into career services and they have a resource like you, is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So take advantage of the career services option for you all, because every certificate program does not have this. But our data analytics bootcamp, you know, we are equipped to provide you with the information that you need. So thank you so much, Lindsay, for that information. So moving into the meeting times and dates, I just want to go over the time frame that you all have. It is going to be Friday evenings and Saturdays. So here's a glance at the schedule. Your Fridays will typically start around 6:30. So from 6:30 to 7:30, you will have your data analytics flex learning Zoom session with your instructor and your classmates. 7:30 to 9:30, you will have data analytics offline student prep time. Saturdays, we're going to begin at around 9 a.m. So from 9 to 11:30, you will have your Zoom session with your instructor in your class. You'll have your lunch break, 11:30 to 12. And then from 12 to 1:15, you'll do your Thinking to Thrive course with your session, your Zoom session with your instructor in your class. And then from 1:30 to 2:30, your data analytics lab time and office hours. So all hours are in Eastern time. When you go to the curriculum dates and times, you will see that the next semester will begin Friday, January 15th. Registration is open now. So if you are sure that those dates and times work best with your schedule, and the certificate program is the best fit for you, then you are welcome to register as soon as today for those courses. But this is just a quick overview of the meeting dates and times and how they're so flexible with, you know, everyone who's working full time. If you are working full time, you will just need your Friday evenings and your Saturdays available. So in regards to the tuition, the entire data analytics bootcamp bundle is $6,995. That is all course materials included because everything is going to be sent electronically. We don't plan to send any textbooks to your home. And then your certificate is awarded for successful completion of all of your courses. So once you've completed all your courses, we are on a pass-fail grading scale. So once you have completed all of your courses, you have an SC for successfully completed. Then you may request your certificate once you have completed everything and paid your tuition in full. We have some funding options because we are a non-credit certificate program. You would not be able to use federal funding for this program. However, we do have employer education and training budgets that we accept, federal agency training funds, Georgetown employee TAP benefits. So if you are a member of our employees, the Georgetown University employees, you may use that. Go Army Ed, active duty and National Guard, a lot of VA benefits. And then we also have interest-free payment plan options. So that is where you pretty much have the total amount of $6,995 for tuition split up into 4 equal payments, and you would pay those each over 30 days. So it's separated into 4 interest-free payments over 30 days each. And then we have a list of private education loans that you can take advantage of. You can also register for courses over time. So we did have this question in the questions panel. What if I wanted to take the course in the beginning and then, take some time or take a break and then take the remaining courses later? We give all of our students up to 2 years to complete the certificate program. However, if you wanted to get it done quickly, you can complete everything in 12 weeks and you don't have to worry about stretching it over time. However, it is open enrollment, so you literally can click, select the course, add it to your cart, and purchase. So it is at your convenience. And then we also have different tuition discounts, and all of this can be found at that link here at the bottom, the tuition and funding page on our website. So how to register for this program? It's open enrollment, as I mentioned before, so no application is required. You do need to have a bachelor's degree or equivalent. If you do not have a bachelor's degree or equivalent, you can always email us here in enrollment at pdcprograms@georgetown.edu. We will be happy to present you with what we call a statement of purpose. With this statement of purpose form, you can complete it, let us know why you're interested in the program, provide recommendations, and we can move forward with a decision on if this would be a good fit for you. So we just want to make sure you're fully prepared. If you do not have a bachelor's degree, there may be an exception. So you can always email us to discuss your options. But this is the website. You would visit this website, click register now, and literally your course registration is complete once you make your payment or you select your payment option. So if you're using a third party, if you're using VA benefits, or if you are just purchasing it as soon as you select checkout, your registration will be done upon payment being processed. So we are at the questions portion. If you all have any questions for myself, for Lindsay, for Lawrence, for Stuart, now is the time to ask all of your questions, as we are open and available and ready for you guys. We got some questions are popping up as I'm speaking. Okay, so our first question, how many hours are expected to be put in each week for class and for homework?
So let's see here. So depends for the Python course, no more, I expect more than 4 hours a week for homework. Between 2 and 4 hours, I think that's the correct answer.
And for Thinking to Thrive, we estimate it's about an hour and a half for each hour in class. So that's the way it works out.
Sounds good. Our next question is for Lindsay. If one has rich experience, so 20 years, and then an entrepreneur, so multiple years in digital analytics as well as being an entrepreneur, coming back to the corporate world mid-50s, would you say that employers are also interested in older workers?
Sure, that's a great question. And I think the term that I was used is experienced. And I think employers are certainly interested in experienced candidates, particularly as it pertains to data analytics, because the more years of experience you have, the stronger of a candidate you are, because you kind of understand the tools and how to utilize them and how that relates to a business environment. So I think just anecdotally, based off of that question and the context, there are certainly some strengths that you can leverage that employers would be interested in.
Lindsay, if I can add on to what you're saying, is one of the great things about being an experienced employee is that you sometimes bring domain expertise along with your technical knowledge, and that's extremely valuable to clients. And that's one of the things that we're seeing even in data scientists. As data scientists, what we're seeing is those that have domain expertise are a lot more valuable than those that just have just the skills themselves. So coming in with years of experience is very, very important and very useful.
Fantastic. Next question, Oh, is there a discount for paying all up front? Unfortunately, no, there is no discount for paying for all of your courses up front. Yeah, no, there is no additional discount. Next question. If we fail the class, can we keep taking it over the course of 2 years to complete? You can. It's totally up to you. You are welcome to register for courses, at your convenience. And for whatever reason, if you continue to fail a course, we're definitely going to ask additional questions to see why, what's going on. We're willing to work with you, to see what the issue is, because we don't want you to constantly have to keep paying for the course over and over and over again. But we give everyone up to 2 years to complete it, meaning if something happens, if you have a baby or if you get sick or whatever the situation is, we're willing to work with you to make sure that we assist you in getting the certificate completed.
Yeah. So we recently had a student that needed to wait into the spring semester to complete, and he just brought it up, and we're more than happy to work with people in order to meet their needs. So it's just not something we say, we actually do.
Absolutely, absolutely. What are some of the careers that students come into the program with?
Sure. That's a great question. And we see kind of, at least I have seen of the students I've met with, a wide variety. So students changing industries. So I know we've had someone with 20 years of experience in association management. They had done some work in databases and decided that they really liked more of that analytical work experience, and so wanted to pursue certificate and go into more of a data analytics role. A student was working at various nonprofits and law organizations, doing kind of more administrative work that, again, kind of enjoyed the more analytical side of what they were doing and decided to pursue that and build expertise in that area rather than go up into management and administration. And then also students who have been working for a year or two in an analytics role, maybe working in Excel, but they really wanted to advance and learn more SQL and some of the larger analytical tools. So from what I've seen, I'm not sure if Larry or Stuart, if you have more context too.
Yeah, I think also just those that have been out of the workforce for a while, coming back. So.
Yeah, not much to add to that. We get them from all over. We get them from government, we get them from civilian, we get them from not-for-profit. We have some military students, and of course, now that we're working virtually for the most part, with this flex learning, we're able to spread our wings geographically much easier. So it's a bigger and more diverse group. It's a lot of fun.
All right, awesome. My next question, I have never worked in data analytics before. Should I take a pre-course training such as statistics ahead of time?
No, you don't have to. I know students that do, but everything that you need in order to be successful in this program, you learn in this program. So the Python, the statistics, everything that's sufficient for you to be a good job candidate afterwards, you're going to learn this program. So you don't need it always helps, program is pretty tough, but it would help you, but it's not necessary.
That's good to know. I know we answer the phone and emails a lot in enrollment, and a lot of prospective students are like, man, is there any like prerequisite course that I can take to prepare myself? And I always let them know that, the boot camp begins with kind of a fundamentals. So we're introducing you to the material, we're introducing you to the discipline so that everyone's starting kind of from the same baseline, and you don't feel like you're just being thrown into all of these, all of this jargon that you've never heard before. Our next question, what are the dates for the summer and fall sessions, and will flex learning continue into 2021? What are your expectations? So that's a great question. It's difficult to say what's going to happen beyond the beginning of next year, just because of everything that's been happening. It's hard to say what will happen moving forward. However, of course, all of the spring courses are posted for now, and this is our second cohort, so we're super excited to continue to offer the boot camps, continue to grow. Our first cohort has been extremely successful with I think it's about 10 students for our first cohort. So as of right now, we just have the information for the beginning of next year, which will be a flex learning environment. And of course, as the months and the time goes on, we will continue to update our website, let you know the next set of courses, and also email you all, especially those of you who have put in a request more information form. So if you have not done that, please do so that we can keep you up to date with what we will do in regards to flex learning, going on campus, or what the future holds for our boot camps. Okay, so it looks like there aren't any additional questions, but while you all are thinking about any other questions that you may have, while we have Stuart, Lawrence, and Lindsay here, can you guys talk about the first cohort? Like, how did that go? Our launching? How are the students in the classroom? Are they absorbing everything? How's everything going?
Lindsay, I think he's pointing at Lindsay. You can please go.
Oh.
What I was going to say is it was tough. We made a very bold decision in order to base this course solely on Python and to be able to bring students up from not knowing anything about the language or programming up to a point that they could be effective in utilizing it. And so I followed the students after they left my first class. I still followed them and see how they were progressing in the other classes. And I'm excited to say that they actually caught on and they were able to use it and progress throughout the courses. And that's exciting because I think it's our bet is paying out. And so it just goes on the student, the quality of the students that we have it's great. And they're learning and they're progressing. So that's.
I'd say pretty much the same thing. Because I get students both from Larry's class and from another class together, my class is a little bit larger. And of course, Thinking to Thrive is a brand new course. So we had to build this one really from the ground up. There is no model out there from anybody else we could find. Any other reputable institution teaches a similar class. So we built this one really from scratch. And I am pleased and slightly amazed to say, because I've built new courses a couple of times before, it's just gone slicker than whatever. I mean, it's been very easy. And the transition to the flex learning has been, I think, very simple. Certainly for me, we have great support from the staff at Georgetown. Because my class time is very brief, only an hour and 15 minutes a week, I make myself available to my students offline on their schedule. And we've had a series of offline conversations with several of them. And I know that they are beginning to apply some of the things that we're teaching because they've come back and said, okay, fine, I've got this problem. And this is what I think I might do. What do you think? So, we're available for that. We're not going away. We're also putting together a group that will meet afterwards. That'll be available to all of the people here who've taken this class. So it's good stuff, and we're here to help. Not like the IRS. We're actually here to help.
And I can say from my meetings with students, they always have such high praise for Larry and Stuart. I think you could tell, just by the stories that they've shared, that they are really invested in students and what you're learning, but also, incredible leaders in their field, bringing in a lot of expertise and able to translate that in really clear and engaging ways to students. So, from what I've heard, people are really enjoying the program. And from the career services side, You know, we have students coming in from all kinds of backgrounds, and it's been fun to see them, you know, getting interviews and interacting with employers and kind of figuring out, okay, you know, I knew I had an interest in data analytics. What do I do from here now that I've started to build these skills? And I think it's been really exciting too. I mentioned before, Georgetown is just such a welcoming environment. And so speaking with alumni from Georgetown as a whole, you know, whether it's from the business school or from School of Continuing Studies or, you know, from the graduate school, people are really excited that Georgetown is going into this more digital space, and really excited to speak with students and to talk about careers and mentorship. So that's been exciting to see.
So Monique, if I can add one more thing to build off of what Stuart said, I just
Sure.
want to remind prospective students, you're not alone in doing this. All the professors guaranteed, I give at least 2 hours a week, dedicated office hours, or any other time, one-on-one with a student. You could call me, email me, I will meet with you. And it's just not me. All the other professors are the same exact way. They will make themselves highly available to you in order so that you can be as successful as possible in this program.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic answers. Okay. A few more questions. So for the capstone project, is it group work or individual? And can you talk a bit more about that portion of the class?
It is individual work. Is generally it's a summary. So it would be a business case, and you'll be asked to answer certain questions regarding a business. It could be about the highest sales. You know, what is the top selling item for this company? What statistical? Can you talk about the statistical distribution of this particular product that they sell or their sales? Can you visualize the location of all these different where your customers are coming from? Can you do a visual representation of that? Those types of questions in order for you to demonstrate that you've understood all the different concepts that have been covered. You also get, before you even do that, we actually do a demo capstone where I will sit with you and go over a similar project and show you what kind of questions to expect and go through some of the some maybe things that we didn't that you should be able to understand that we didn't explicitly cover, but I will go through those examples with you and show you how to approach different problems or how I think about these problems, right? How I would approach these so that you would have something to base off once you do your own capstone project.
Awesome. Our next question, can we reach out to prior students to see where they are in their careers with taking this certification? So our first cohort, they haven't concluded yet, right? They have some more loose ends to tie up. But as soon as they do conclude, we give them their evaluation, see how they felt about everything. We will be sure to begin to ask for student ambassadors for anyone who is interested in speaking with prospective students about their experiences. So at some point, we will have prior students that you will be able to reach out to. But the email address that is listed on the PowerPoint presentation, you can always email us and we will be sure to get you connected to the right person. Will the presentation be available to rewatch? Absolutely. So everyone that has registered, everyone that has attended, we will be sure to send you all the video and PowerPoint presentation so that you can go over anything, share it with your coworkers, share with your friends and family, anyone who is interested in this certificate program. So yes, it will be available to rewatch. And our next question, how long is the access we have to career services after the course is completed?
Sure. So your access is for 1 year from the start date. So I believe you said the start date is January 15th, 2021. So you'd have access till January 15th, 2022.
Fantastic. What is the deadline for registering for the spring 21 cohort. The deadline for registering is either the day before class begins or before the class fills. So because it is open enrollment, it is difficult to decipher which is going to happen. However, as soon as you know, you're sure, you're ready, you have the funds, the dates and times work best with your schedule, I would register as soon as possible. But you have up until the day before class begins or before the classes are filled to register for courses. And they're all listed and available now for the January 21 cohort. So you all can definitely head over to our website and register today if you're interested. So it looks like we have no more questions. If you all come up with any additional questions, I know sometimes as soon as we get off of the webinar, we're like, oh, I forgot to ask that question. So if anything comes up, please, please, please email us at pdcprograms@georgetown.edu. If you all have any specific questions for our subject matter experts, we will be sure to get that additional information for you. But we thank you all so much for joining us today. We will be sure to send you all this presentation in PowerPoint just so that you are able to go over anything, ask any additional questions, re-listen to any of the detail, because it was a plethora of information from this webinar today. So thank you so much to our panelists for presenting the fantastic information that you all did today about the Data Analytics Bootcamp. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We hope you have a fantastic day today. And we look forward to seeing you all in class in January.
Indeed. Take care.
Bye.